Hey folks, and welcome to the Supreme Suspensions channel, and with us today is a 2015 Chevy Express. What, we're doing vans now? Really? Okay, so this one's got a whole bunch of seats in it and some barn doors on the side. It's even got a backup camera. And it came to us from our friends at Deck and Railing Solutions down in Dana Point, California. Known them for a long time. They've got some kids. They love to go surfing and camping and spend a lot of time going places with their extended family. Problem with this is it's kind of got that airport shuttle look, and they're more the adventure type people. So we've got a brand new product. This is a 2.5-inch leveling spacer specifically designed for these late model Chevy vans, and they've been so gracious to let us use their vehicle to test fit. So we're gonna roll it in the shop and see how this goes. Once you get the wheels off, undo the clip holding the ABS wiring to the steering knuckle. Then go after the one on the control arm and the one on the shock tower. And finally, disconnect the sensor from the wiring harness and unclip the plug. Next, you'll want to unbolt the brake line bracket from the steering knuckle and the one on the control arm, and then remove the brake line bracket from the frame rail. Unbolt the tie rod from the steering knuckle and whack it on the side to pop it loose. Disconnect the sway bar from the control arm. The top part of the link is a little funky and will need to be held with a 12-point socket. Now remove the brake caliper and hang it out of the way. Pull off that brake rotor and set it aside. Support the lower control arm with a jack. Disconnect the lower shock mount and unbolt the upper mount. Now the shock can be dropped out of the bottom and removed from the van. Moving on, unbolt the upper ball joint and knock it loose with a hammer. Carefully drop the lower control arm and remove the coil spring from the van. Install a coil spring compressor set onto the spring and place the lift spacer on the top coil. Install the spring with the spacer back into the van while making sure that the bottom coil is securely seated into the groove on the control arm. Carefully remove the spring compressors. Raise the lower control arm and attach the upper ball joint. Tighten the nut to 18 foot-pounds and then an additional 90 to 100 degrees. Install the shock and tighten the upper mounting nut to 16 foot-pounds. Attach the lower shock mount to the control arm and run the bolts down to 18 foot-pounds. Install the sway bar link and tighten it down to 97 inch-pounds, which is a little bit over 8 foot-pounds. Install the brake rotor and caliper and tighten the caliper bolts down to 129 foot-pounds. Attach the tie rod to the steering knuckle and run the bolt down to 26 foot-pounds and then an additional 60 to 75 degrees. Attach the brake line bracket to the steering knuckle and then the upper control arm, and finally the frame rail. Attach the brake line bracket to the steering knuckle, the upper control arm, and the frame rail. Install the wheels and run those lug nuts down to 140 foot-pounds, and now you're ready to roll. Wow, we are really stoked at how this turned out. Our new spacers fit in the van just perfectly and gave us that 2.5 inches we were looking for to level it out and give us a little bit more clearance on the front tires, which will come into play later. We hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please hit like. If this is your first time stopping by, please hit subscribe. Check back soon as this van is off to the tire shop to get some big old meats put on with some fancy new rims. And if anybody's got a line on a neat set of fender flares that'll work with this, please let us know in the comments because we'd like to beef it up and make it look all adventure-like. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.